Welcome to Robertland. That's right, your favorite not safe for work comedy theme park podcast. And I'm your host, Robert Thompson, comedian, musician, theme park phenologist, all I do. What is up, everybody? How you guys doing? Man, it is crystal Pepsi deliciously grand to be here, Grand Avenue. I love riffing, dude, and I love being here with you guys. It's a treat. Robertland is back for now. We're doing a few episodes to have some fun here. Because, look, like Pringles, the fun don't stop, all right? And this time I'm taking a more, not just theme parks approach. I'm going all around the globe and the universe on things that I'm interested in. It's probably a part of this rabid and hardcore ADHD I've got, but I'm just a curious brain. And I'm excited to share some of the fun things that I'm obsessing over at the moment. And, you know, I never thought that I would think of a fantasy house this amazing, but I was just on my buddy, old pal, John SHEFSKY, fellow Road Dog, which you could check out Road Dog's podcast and live stand-up comedy show every Wednesday in Pasadena. Me and John SHEFSKY do that. But for Robertland, I thought that for this one, I would show you a pod that maybe you haven't heard with myself and John. His podcast, Gods of Real Estate, Fancy Boy Edition, where I go into my fantasy house. And I think it's definitely in the vein of theme park silly craziness, and I get a little imaginative, and I just try to dig deep and think about what my fantasy house would be. And so that's what I thought I'd start this Robertland run with, showing you something that I think you may find fascinating, and that's my fantasy house. Please leave in the comments what your fantasy house would be. Also, leave me your social security number. I'm just kidding. I am joking here. We're riffing. But for now, enjoy myself on Fantasy House, Fancy Boy Edition. I mean, Gods of Real Estate, Fancy Boy Edition. I got a little tongue-tied there. Sorry. The fentanyl is just hitting. No, I kid. Love you guys. Enjoy. And next week, we'll be back with a whole full episode of me and a guest, Zack Hillman, Rossco Soletrain, all the fun people of yesteryear will be on this pod. So I'm excited to include all of them, and I'm excited for what's to come. But for now, enjoy Robertland on Gods of Real Estate, Fancy Boy Edition. We'll see ya. Enjoy.
Theme park memories.
Dude, one of my favorite memories of ever being at a theme park was years back at Knott's. I was smoking spliffs with my homies, and we got rolled up on by these, theme park cops. They tried to throw us in their little jail holding cell or whatever. But I remembered a trick a homie had told me about years before that. I told him I was smoking this stuff for medicinal purposes, epilepsy. They didn't buy it, so I had to fake an epileptic seizure. And the thing was, while I was doing it, I had to take a dump really bad. So I fell on the ground faking this epileptic seizure, and I accidentally shit my pants, dude. It was hilarious, man. I lost a pair of pants, but I saved my ass.
Theme park memories.
Hey, my name's Humphrey Hillman McGillicuddy. My favorite ride is definitely the roller coaster. I like the twists and turns that it takes you on. And, Robert, I think that you should definitely contact Church of Latter-day Saints. We've got some problems with you. You've made a few Mormon jokes on the show, and we'd like to have Elder Bam Bam McGillicuddy, which is my nephew. He's a triathlon expert, and he's really buff. We'd like to have him punch you in the balls, because you're real funny, pal. So go fuck yourself, and Feliz Navidad.
Theme park memories.
I'll never forget being 8 years old and getting off of Pirates of the Caribbean with my father, and he whispers to himself, "Well, it's official. Bags have finally taken over." I think the year was 1992. It's a beautiful moment.
Theme park memories.
My name is John Foster, and my great-great-grandfather actually invented the merry-go-round. In his mind, it was a way to embody the existential dread that he felt going through the hollow paces of a life without meaning. As he put it, one would experience joy at seeing their family recede away from them, only to experience the Sisyphean terror of seeing that family immediately return back into their field of view. He was a real son of a bitch.
Theme park memories.
Welcome to Gods of Real Estate. Open your mind and prepare yourself, because you're about to go on an unforgettable audio tour. Every week, your imagination will be kicked into overdrive as you're taken through someone's mind-blowing fantasy house. We'll go room to room as the creator describes the otherworldly magic and unbelievable future tech with raw humor that only the coolest people have the capacity to appreciate. That's you. And since this is Gods of Real Estate Fancy Boy Edition, we'll end the episode with the most epic imaginary feast that will leave your brain tingling and your mouth watering. If you're not comfortable getting weird with honest conversation, or if you are easily offended, well then fuck off right away and turn back now. And for everyone else, let's begin our journey. And now, here's your host, the only real estate agent in California, Jonathan SHEFSKY.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Gods of Real Estate. I'm so excited about the show today because we took a long hiatus and we are back, and I think we're better than ever. And our guest today is one of my dearest friends. We plot and plan together. We get super just creative and weird and absurd and just have the best time because he's a great comedian, musician, and just all around rad, loving dude. Robert Thompson, how are you?
This is great, man. You're back at creating these fantasy houses that I think are so fun. I'm excited, man. It's great.
Dude, I mean, speaking of, you're getting our podcast going in, like Fantasy House morphing into Gods of Real Estate, and then Robertland coming back. Are you going to call it Robertland or Robertland World?
Robertland World.
Oh,
yeah.
Genius. I think it's so great.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Yeah. I mean, the original run, we were doing theme parks and we'd have comics on share their experiences. And it was pretty wild because everyone had so many varying experiences. I mean, Tiff Myers, he grew up in DC and in the Middle East at one point. He lived in the Middle East at some point during 9/11. Yeah, he said none of them would pass OSHA standards. Like, he said you could light a cigar off the bumper cars. Like, everything was just dangerous. But, like, that was so cool. And so we're going to go back to theme parks, but that's not all that we're going to talk about on it because there's just so many. I have, like, massive ADHD, and I feel like I'm always curious about different things. It's hard for me to stay in one subject. I feel like people in general, I think, will enjoy the wiggle room that the new Robertland will have because we could discuss so many different things, like how my forehead looks really defined right now.
It looks great. There's an app for that, but yeah, it looks great.
Okay.
there's a thing in Zoom where you can, like, it says it, like, I forgot what it says, but it, like, all it does is like soften, like create like a glow and soften stuff. And to me, it doesn't make me happier because, like, as you click the scale and drag it, you're like, I look that bad that, like, I have to drag the scale all the way over here, and, like, you look all young in the thing, and you're like, that's not me though. So it's not like I don't feel good looking at it. I'm like, I'm not that. I'm an old wrinkly man all of a sudden. And so let's be honest. But this is a make-believe podcast based around creativity and imagination. So I guess maybe I should embrace the Apple future of your skin looks soft in the virtual world.
When do you think it is that we walk around with, like, just constant, like, filters? Like, if that's, like, the thing where you can actually, not just through the internet, but, like, imagine if your appearance could be altered from technology, like, just out in the world.
So if we take the same ethic of women wearing makeup all the time to
Yes.
the tech world. I mean, I think that's
Yes.
coming for sure in every way, shape, and form. I mean, with real estate specifically on this podcast, like I can just envision a future where we have a fantasy house, like a community of fantasy houses. Like Gods of Real Estate actually has like a neighborhood, and like you built your house, and then you have an AI like actually help you create the whole thing in the virtual world. And like, I don't know, for an episode, like you walk us through it, and we actually just go through it with our VR masks on, and you're like, check out my zero gravity room, like, you know, check out my shark tank where I swim with these sharks. They're friendly sharks, you know. I swim with the sharks, and like we'll just be in our VR masks, like cool, and we'll go together. I think that world is anywhere from 5 years to like 40 years away, but it's like most likely closer than the 40 years. You know what I mean? Like I think our kids, the way they're gonna like do storytelling and communication and get creative, and even like the pastimes that like it's unimaginable right now, but we're getting somewhere very, very different, weird, and interesting. Not bad, not good, just different than what you and I are used to.
Oh man, well, I think about this all the time. I mean, remember when we were kids and your uncle would come back from Vegas with like a picture with just the most absurd, like horribly cropped Photoshop, like primitive Photoshop would be like his face on a buff guy's body.
Oh
He
yeah,
would laugh about it.
yeah,
It was the fun. It was like, oh, there's Uncle Gary. Oh, he's a buff guy now.
yeah,
And then his wife would be in like a scantily clad bikini, and it would be the funniest thing. You would show people for weeks. It would be the most
yeah.
hilarious thing.
It'd make
Now
an
you wouldn't
impact.
even, yeah, you wouldn't even wince. I mean, now it's nothing.
I know.
A
Hey, I'm the
filter is
guy that still
nothing.
photoshops my head onto things, and yes, nobody even winces. I can't even impress myself with this Photoshop skills anymore. Yeah, I mean, the future of like communication through like visual arts and experiences is like I still think it's unimaginable. I think, you know, after right now, the Apple thing is like the most advanced thing we have. And it's really good, but it's not like undeniable to the point where it's like I wasn't about to just like walk out of there and start making monthly payments on it. But I think 4 or 5 years from now, like version, you know, 6 or 7 or whatever they'll be at it then, I think it's going to be like undeniable where you will pay a monthly payment for it because you'll be like, I can't live without whatever the amazingness is of that virtual world. So right now we can. It's really impressive. I went to the Apple store. I tried the mask on. It's impressive. But in like 4 or 5, 6 years, it's gonna be crazy. And you got to remember, AI is advancing also. And I think as AI gets better, it's going to help humans develop shit way faster because now instead of taking 100 engineers to come up with something, you could have 2 or 3 people figuring things out and then using AI as a tool to be like, get us there faster, right? From abacus to calculator to computer. But AI is just gonna, I think, probably catapult virtual reality and augmented reality like to a level like again, like I think we can't imagine. And also, I think once this thing's been out for 5, 6 years and people can start buying it on the used market and like middle class kids that come home from school and their parents are both at work that would normally watch TV or mess around with their computer. I think those kids, like those Chat GPT, like, you know, the kids that make 20 grand a month on Chat GPT doing silly shit that you're like, what? I think those kids are going to get stoned. They're going to pick up the Apple thing and they're going to come up with stuff that like you or me wouldn't have even imagined. And they're going to be like, oh, what if we make it do this? Or what if it does that? Like, beyond what you and I can joke about. Like I joke about smell-o-vision and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, like it's gonna be, you know, porn's gonna be undeniable when you can smell through it, all that crazy shit, right? But I think there's like a next level of like what like you or I as 15, 16-year-olds would come up with now with this technology knowledge. So I think that's coming too once the used market you know, next 5 years. I think 5 years is gonna be freaking unrecognizable. But that's just me, and those are my like random thoughts about like technology and society. So let's get into it.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go. Like describe the exterior location. Like where are we if we're flying the Gods of Real Estate drone camera up above it? What are we looking at?
Aerial drone view.
I've always been a huge fan of the Ewoks and Star Wars films.
Oh yeah, dude. Is it Endor?
Endor. So this is we're on Endor, and so you are approaching in the drone. You see the forest. I think it's called the Brightwood Forest in Endor.
Yeah.
And it's the Ewok village. So my fantasy is to live in a giant hut in the middle of the Ewok forest.
Oh my gosh.
Because I realize what tree houses are, man, and I've always kept that. I don't know if it's just the neurodivergency in my brain or what, but that's that sort of space to be able to like have your own little fortress of creativity is so important to me.
You're such a big Chewbacca too.
Yeah,
You're just
yes,
like
I am.
you're just like a big tall dude, like ah.
Yes, I think me and Chewbacca produce same dumps too as well. I'm sure.
This is a
I've got a hearty.
clean podcast.
Yeah.
This is called
Oh,
Gods of
oh,
Real Estate.
oh. Well, pardon my français, my friend, Monsieur Shefsky. No, but it's going to be in the Ewok
That's
Forest,
great.
and it's the Brightwood Forest, what they call it. But it's a big. There's a big hut in the middle, so it's a brown hut. It's not too fancy from the outside, but I think we get fancy on the inside.
You better
of this
get
hut.
fancy on it. This is Fancy Boy edition. You better get fancy on the
Yes,
inside.
yes, we will. So there's a lot of different little huts on the outside, and they have these bridges. If you're familiar with Star Wars,
Yeah.
they're kind of connected by these bridges.
Yeah.
These kind of like you're at Disneyland. Near Indiana Jones, the treehouse at Disneyland is a good prime example.
Oh yeah.
So you cross these bridges to get to different parts of my estate. There'll be things on the outside for different purposes. Like there's a hut at the top where you can kind of just get a view on what's going on out there in the world. Like say if you got Jehovah's Witness coming, you don't feel like interacting. You've got
Jehovah's Witness coming to visit you on indoor.
Yeah. Yes. They make quite the trip, dude. I don't know. They're very devoted. And they, I'm not ready to not celebrate birthdays, so I'm gonna hide in this little there's a hideaway just in case Marvin and Harry from Home Alone are getting ready to raid your house. You've got a little hideaway at the top, so that's above the house. And it looks like it's actually one of the Disneyland buckets. Just because I'm very nostalgic. But at Disneyland, there used to be this ride with the buckets.
I love the buckets, dude.
Dude, the buckets are incredible. I mean,
were
when we
so
were
great.
Kids, yeah, it was these buckets that took you over Disneyland. You
How
got
did they
to
get rid of that?
travel over.
That
Just
that
the
probably influenced
liability.
us even doing a podcast like this. Is like the aerial view of something. Like it was so magical as a kid, so simple and magical, right?
Yeah, it's a bummer because I think a lot of stuff at Disneyland, people get discouraged because they think about the price, they think about all those things. But when you're a child and you get to go to this fantasy world, I mean, it is just like it feeds your imagination. There's not a lot of places that really take you there like that. And when we were kids, look over, the fantasy world of Disneyland, just traveling over it. It was incredible. And I remember my dad would always shake the living shit out of it to just scare us as a joke. And
that's funny.
And it is funny. Yes. And my mom loved to remind us that to not go to Six Flags ever. Six Flags was dangerous. and it was because they saw a newlywed couple fall to their death on one of those like sky buckets at Magic Mountain.
Are you serious?
Yes. They saw the aftermath. They saw like it was like a ski lift thing they used to have at Magic Mountain. So I thought it was funny that they always warned us about it, but we'd still take the buckets from my dad and still shake the bucket.
I mean, I'm taking this as a warning from your parents. Like it made it all the way to this podcast. I'm like, maybe I won't. I mean, I love roller coasters, but man.
Yeah. But I think like just having that little kind of hideaway at the top to just get, things are getting crazy. Endor included, the cost of living in Endor is wild.
It's the interest rates for an indoor mortgage are insane.
Yeah.
All right, so take us to the entrance. Like, how do we get there? Where's the entrance? How do you welcome us in?
All right, so there is a giant door. It's not very fantastic. It's just this wood door. You open it up, and then the magic really begins to start because there is this sprawling staircase, and they all are kind of like the labyrinth where it's just staircases to nowhere. They're backwards.
That's
down.
MC Escher art. That's based off the MC Escher art. Yeah, you can't tell like where it's up and down, and it's like doesn't make sense, but it does. Stuff's insane.
Yeah, so it's disorienting, but it's calming because I think as you get older, you need those things. You need something to think about, and I think about retirement. I think about like just something striking when you enter the door is always fun because I just my ADHD brain is thinking overtime right now about my retirement already. But I just love the fact that like as a kid, I remember I'd always fantasize about being in that I don't know if you remember in Mario 3, there was like this a lot of references here, but
No, it's
there
great.
was an intro. There was an intro where there was this like red, there was this red theater, like what do you call it? The gates. What is the theater? God, my feel like I'm high as shit already in this fantasy world, John.
That says,
The edibles are strong these days,
oh,
but they
dude.
linger into 3 days later. No, but it's a curtain, and it's a red curtain, and it opens up, and
Yeah.
you're in like this kind of red, black and white checkered floor. It's this like fancy, just
Yeah.
palace entrance. So
Yeah.
it's gonna have that look like it's this fantastical
So we're
palace,
walking into
all these
a
sprawling
hut, a
staircases.
treehouse hut, but then when you open the door, that's what's inside.
Yes,
Oh, dude.
yes,
It's almost like an
yeah.
Encanto feel when you go through one of those doors. You're like, what's in that room? Like, what room? Like, what? Yeah, dude.
Dude,
I
this is
love that.
Encanto on methamphetamine. I mean, it is a wild, wild ride.
There's our tagline for this podcast. Encanto on
Okay, great.
methamphetamines, dude.
So,
Okay.
so you enter, and then there's a magic carpet that can guide you to any of
Yes.
the staircases.
Love
So
it.
that'll take you different rooms. But beyond that, there's a little tunnel, there's a little hallway beyond the staircases, and that just takes you to a very cozy and warm, like just normal suburban Southern California living room.
Yeah.
So a
Okay.
very modest, small living room.
You're a
to
real
make you feel
nostalgic
like you're at
motherfucker.
home. I am, dude.
It's a
I am.
suburban
lot
track
of this-
home living room.
Yeah, I think like, I mean, there's so
Ashley
much.
Furniture sponsors this podcast.
Well, there's so much change in the world. I think it's nice to have that little taste of
Yes.
of of your home, what you think is home, you know.
Totally.
And yeah, so
And an
there's that.
appreciation for the mediocrity.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Like everyone's
something
striving for this
about it.
like ultra like success, like hustle culture, and like the internet, everything's like gotta be like, you gotta be a billionaire with like everything's gotta be like golden plated and just or Apple store. And you're like, yeah, I don't know. Like there's something like very zen about being like, this couch is just this couch, and it's great because it's not trying to be anything besides this couch. That's the
Right.
living room you're taking us to right now.
Yes, yes. It just serves its purpose. Very like, a very cozy, comfy. Like there's gonna be a grandpa's chair in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was always in every house, I remember there was always like a forbidden chair. Like, oh, don't sit in Uncle Ted's chair. That is that is off
All I can
limits.
think of is the chair from that Coen Brothers movie, the George Clooney chair. What the heck is it? Burn After Reading?
Oh yes,
The chair
yes,
from Burn After
dude,
Reading.
totally.
Isn't that called the forbidden chair?
Yes, dude, it is the forbidden chair. That is exactly what I'm talking about.
I love
So there's
it.
going to be one of those
Okay.
that is just off limits. No one can sit on it. Just
Okay.
because it makes it fun. It makes
Okay.
it fun. And I'm not going to tell you what happens if you sit on it. That's
No,
for you
please
to-
don't. Let our
Yeah.
guests. This is all about
Yeah.
being creative. It's an exercise in imagination. Don't tell us what happens. Let us
Well,
imagine it.
well, what's fun is when you have movie nights, because some of my favorite memories is like being in high school and you'd have a friend over and you'd watch like Poltergeist at midnight, and you're just having so much fun,
Yeah.
kind of like, oh man, what happens if this happens? And so let me tell you, there's going to be an option when you flip the lights to watch a scary movie at midnight with your friends, that something may appear in that chair.
That's
to spook you
terrifying.
during
I can't,
the movie.
dude. You know I don't like horror movies, and I'm in one right now. You scary, scary motherfucker. Oh, I love it.
So that'll be fun for like the kids,
So
But
great.
yeah, so there's that option. It's very run of the mill, very cozy, kind of like beige and brown colors, just very
Creamy
homey.
beige. Old gray.
Yeah.
Do you have a unique bathroom or anything?
Bathroom.
So the bathroom, it's very it gives you affirmation at every turn, sorry. When you go to the bathroom, it's gonna make you feel like a king, like, oh, God, thank you, brother. Like,
Oh
it
my
will
God. You have the Hulk
congratulate
Hogan
you.
toilet?
Yeah, good job, piss in my mouth. Just it is letting you
I want the Hulk Hogan toilet right now,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh yeah, brother.
This is 100.
Shit right, Mike Trapper, brother. Oh yeah.
I just think you
What?
taking a shit in a toilet and it going, hell yeah, brother, is the funniest thing I have ever heard. And you could decorate a toilet. I mean, our listeners could literally, some creative porcelain artist out there could fucking paint a toilet to be Hulk Hogan's face, dude, with the blonde handlebar mustache coming down the sides of it. Like, hell yeah,
Yes.
brother. That is the coolest
Yes.
thing I've ever. Oh my God. What a way to bring back the show, Gods of Real Estate.
There's something about the mountains and like just nature. Obviously, like, you know, we're in a fictitious forest and or moon, but
Yeah.
like I'll always like my dream is to live in like the Swiss Alps, you know, like you could just
Yeah.
open up the window and just look at like just such beauty, you know, 'cause-
Ricola every morning.
Yeah,
Instead of
dude.
one of
Yeah.
those damn roosters. It's a Ricola horn.
Yeah. Yes. So I mean, I want like I mean there's a few different rooms that I really want to like feed your creativity. Like I want a room where you walk in, it's blank, and you paint what the room is that day. You decide with
Oh,
your
that's
brain
so cool.
what you want the room to be that day.
Like it's a
So,
blank room, like Morgan Freeman hanging out, in Evan Almighty, like a blank room where you're like,
Yeah.
it's a white soundstage, and it just like you can create it
Yes.
from head to toe. Love that. It's so cool. Oh my God.
For your creativity that day, like if you want it to be the Bat Cave and you're trying to like, you know, really pick the brain at something maybe a little more dark and brooding, you can make it a Bat Cave. If you want it to be more animated, you could, you know, make it like Pinocchio's dad, you know, Geppetto's like clock shop.
I
You know,
love
like
that. I started to feel
any
that right when
day-
you were saying it. I started to think, I was like, Robert would paint like a Toontown place every once in a while, maybe every day or every
Yes.
other day, right? You would.
Yes.
You would give it that like
Yes.
cartoony, like I love that, dude. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So that, and then there'd be your bedroom is definitely. I mean, you're in the mountains. You look out and you're in the mountains. It's beautiful. It's just snowing. It's striking. There's just something so calming about that, and it'll change within the. So that's the winter, but I actually want it to change too. It's not just the mountains. It'll change with the seasons, so you really feel it. Even if you're in like California where there really isn't seasons, we'll
Love
be
it.
looking at seasons that are, you know, going on in the world. So that's the bedroom.
That's primary bedroom. Okay. Okay. Is there any other room that you want to do that's a super unique room that we can do real quick, like a final unique room?
Yes.
One of a kind, mind-blowing room.
I mean, this is kind of heavy stuff, but like,
Great. You've got 3 minutes before the show's over and you're going into heavy. I'm just joking. Go.
okay. Well, if you could like relive moments with people that aren't here physically,
Oh yeah,
but
definitely.
but just very vivid. I mean, it's just like, you know, I have those memories. You hold on to those memories of people that aren't here anymore forever. But there's something about it that I don't know. I think it's just so it's beautiful that we have those memories. But it would be nice to be able to kind of like. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
Okay,
this is
no, I like
somewhere-
this, Robert. I like where this is going. Okay, let me ask you
Yeah.
this so that I can get this out of you for our guests, for our listeners to hear. Who would it be if you had one person? Like you're giving us a tour of this right now, right? We're here hanging out in the film crew's going through the house with you. Who's going to be that person that we're going to sit down with? And what's that one line they're going to say that's going to leave us going, oh my God, I'm so glad we were able to get that wisdom out of this person that's already passed?
Well, I think it would probably be my grandfather, because he was like the first significant person in my life to pass away. And there's so many questions I have, but there was something about him that was very calming and just chill. And, you know, he was a World War II veteran. He had this rad ship on his arm, but there was something about him. And I think it's because maybe the time that he passed away, because like my grandma was the opposite. She was very not chill. She was a German, you know, lady, just gnarly. I mean, let you know every insecurity. I mean, she bought my brother like weight loss books for Christmas.
Oh
you know what
my
I mean?
God.
Oh
my, you're making him fatter.
Yeah, I love her though. In her own way, she was hilarious. Yeah, she was hilarious though. But my grandpa was just kind of wise, like sage, kind of like very mellow. And the memories I have of him were just all love, you know. And I think like what's beautiful about that phase in life though is that like it's kind of a time when men stop like having a pissing contest and just really enjoy life, the beauty of life. So they're ready just to kind of love, you know. So Yeah, that would be cool.
That's
Talk to
beautiful.
him and just,
I love
yeah.
that, dude. I love that. Well, amen, and thank you for your grandfather for all that he did and the fact that he continued fighting the Germans even after the war ended. All right, so we have literally 60 seconds left, dude. Let's just go and have that epic meal. So let's go. Tell us what the dining room looks like and tell us what we're eating.
Kitchen and dining room and our epic feast.
To me, I don't think kitchens need to be this, Beauty and the Beast. It doesn't need to be some like ratatouille, like a line cook would be in there. Like it just needs to be a basic kitchen.
Okay.
With like kind of Art Deco-y tile, like just kind of looks sort of. I mean, that's where I can kind of let my freak flag fly with tile. I love just weird, fun kind of shapely. So the kitchen's gonna be like the like the art school college kid kitchen, if they could have their way. It's gonna be like just wild,
Okay.
kind of weird, like a hand chair, just
Yeah.
something to really like, because I feel like the kitchen is creative. Like if you start, I'm starting to finally get into like cooking things. Like I grew up with ADHD, and I feel like with that you hyper focus on things that you really like. And for me, like cooking food, just it was never there. But now I'm thinking about it as I get older and just like living, it's like, yeah, that's good. I don't want to have to eat, and I want to eat better. So I'm not trying to go out and so I think like keeping that creativity in my brain, if I could have a kitchen that just looks amazing, I would want to be there all the time. And it would kind of like keep I think that would be fun to make it just this really wacky kitchen. So it'll look like Art Deco-y, have like those hand chairs. The fridge is going to be total Pee-wee's Playhouse. You open it up, and there's the food is moving. The food is claymation.
Oh
As
yeah,
soon as you
dude.
take it out
Claymation
of the
food.
fridge, yes. As
Pee-wee's
soon as you
Playhouse.
take it out, you can eat it. You
Okay.
can eat whatever it is. So you may feel guilty because you'll see its little smiling face, but boy, if you need some maple syrup, it's gonna be screaming right into your
dude.
pancakes. All right, so the dining room, it looks like it looks like you're underwater. So like Mario
Yeah.
Brothers, you're
Yes.
in you're eating underwater. There's all the
Love this.
fishes singing. It's like Little Mermaid. Everyone's having fun. There's a Duke
La 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 la, eat
La,
your
la, la.
burrito.
Oh yeah. So everyone's speaking Jamaican. It's great. But there's
What's the food? What's the main course, baby? Get my mouth watering.
The main course is the best pizza you've ever had. It is
Yeah.
the best pizza. Like think of your favorite pizza of all time, and that's it, with some fried chicken. I mean, I'm going Shakey's.
Oh
I don't
yeah, you
care.
really are. I didn't
This is
expect
like
anything
last
else, of
meal.
course. Go shit.
So it's
Oh, I
gonna
have
be-
heartburn in your fantasy world. Oh my god.
I have the palate of a fifth grader, so I hope you enjoy
Oh, dude.
some delicious
Gods of gastritis. Oh my god.
Yes, dude, Louisiana fried chicken though. Like it's
Oh.
not just KFC, but it's like the guy. So the guy that founded Popeyes is a chef.
Yep.
It's like him making your chicken. It's
I
just
love it.
flavorful. Got all the spices. Got your favorite pizza from wherever
Dude.
you want. We can get it.
Dude, so great. Thank you for doing this. What an awesome epic meal. This has been so great. Where can people find Robertland World?
So right now, I'm getting that show going. So look up Robertland Podcast on Instagram or on YouTube.
Awesome.
And that's where everything is now. You'll be seeing Robertland World pop up very soon.
Perfect. Thank you guys for listening. Go ahead and send this to a
Yeah.
friend. And thanks so much for being part of the show, guys. Thanks, Robert. You were freaking awesome.
Oh, thank you, man.